Okay, another thing that you'll notice is if I hold down the right button, it's going to go way off the screen.
Okay.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to add the logic which locks or constrains the coconut gun to a certain area of the screen.
Excellent. Okay.
So to do this, you can add a cube. You go to top, make sure the cube is lined up with the coconut gun, because the idea is when the coconut gun hits the cube, it's going to stop moving in that direction.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, what would you call that? It's going to crash into it. Is that a collision? Right. Is that a collision?
Right. Is it a collision, or another thing we could use is a near once it gets within.
Okay.
The object.
Right. A near.
So we're just going to call the caps is on. Call this a right wall. All right. So we're going to select our coconut gun. We go into Logic panel, and we're going to add another sensor. We're going to add a near sensor.
Okay.
We're going to call it right near. Okay, so
right near. Okay.
Or near right, whichever one.
No, that's fine.
Right, whatever.
Near right.
All right, so we're going to select our right wall. We're going to add a property. I'm just going to say right. So we're going to go back to our coconut gun, and in the property field of our near sensor, we're going to hit enter right.
So even though that property was assigned to that cube over there, Blender will recognize that. Now, it seems to me that everything needs to have a unique name. Right. Every property needs to have a unique name, right?
Right.
Okay, so if you add a property to something called right, you can't add the same property to something else. You can use it, though. You can use it in a sensor. Like, you couldn't give that a right property, could you?
Actually, you could. They can be, for two objects can have the same name, but you cannot have, well, no, you couldn't.
So it changed it to right too. Okay.
Oh, let me see here. That is, okay. Let me just deviate right here. I'm going to add a cube. I'm going to add a property. I'm going to see if we can name this right. Okay, we can. The reason why that named it right 2, let me go back to the coconut gun and hit right. Okay, it's naming it right 2 because we've named our sensor right.
Oh, okay. It already had something else named right that was assigned to it.
Right. So, but here we have an object which has a variable or property, right? Mm-hmm. So multiple objects can have the same property name.
Probably not a good idea, though, is it?
I mean, it depends. For example, if you had multiple AI robots, you might have a life property.
That would be common to all of them. Okay. All right. So, but that one, we might better name that something like left.
Right.
No, left. You ever get that when you're driving? You know, the difference between should I go left? Right. No, I mean correct. All right. So we've given that a property of left.
Okay. So we'll go back to our coconut gun, and we're going to add another near sensor and name it near left, and we're going to put the left property in the property field. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to connect the near right sensor to the controller, which also has the right keyboard sensor.
Okay.
And we are going to connect the near left sensor to the controller, which has the left keyboard sensor connected to it. And so the way this is set up now is what an AND controller does is, as you can see, we can connect multiple sensors to it, and with AND is going to only fire a positive pulse if all of the sensors connected to it are true or are firing a positive pulse.
Okay.
So if we were hitting the left arrow, but we were, let me shrink some of these things. All right, if we were hitting the left arrow, but we were not near an object with this property, then we wouldn't go anywhere.
Okay. So it doesn't sound like that's going to work for us right now, because we're obviously, like right now, we're not near either one of them. We're just in the middle. So if we press P right now, is it going to work?
No.
So we hit the right and left arrows. It doesn't move anymore. Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the invert toggle button.
Oh, okay.
So what basically this does is it's going to fire a positive pulse if the sensor is
not near.
Right.
Okay.
So in this case, we can press P and we'll move into a certain point. And the reason why that is not working, again, because we need to activate the actor field.
Okay.
The different selector.
All right. So near refers to, I can see there's that dot in the middle of the object where the axis is. Yeah, if you turn that off, there's that dot. Now we're talking about near. That's the object that we're being near. And what about the distance from that object? What is near to that? Is there some setting that defines how near is near?
Distance.
Distance. Right, okay. So 1 unit, which in that screen setting right now is basically one of those grid blocks, right? Okay.
So we're going to press P and see how this works.
So it's stopping there. Oh, so it's not only one grid block from the cube center, but also the one grid block from the gun center.
Right.
So if you did like a half of a unit there, there's 1 unit on that side. I think you changed it on the other side. You can probably get closer there. Ah, okay.
Change that to 0.5.
So if you set it to 1, it's actually going to be like 2 units between the centers.
Right.
Okay. Interesting.
All right. So basically, we just orient our cubes. So right. So you can see how it gets stopped there. Now what we don't want is we don't want the cubes to be visible.
Mm-hmm.
So
can we make them invisible?
We just hit the invisible field.
All right. So I hate to tell you this, but it's not invisible right now.
It will be invisible once you start the game.
Oh, whoa. Okay. So, but they're still there.
Right. So you can see it stopping the thing.
All right. Very cool.
Right, so
we literally put up a kind of wall to keep it from passing too far. Okay, now I noticed that in the Blender camera view here, we've got the action safe and title safe, or we've got the let's see, that outer frame, that's the camera objects border, right?
Right.
Go ahead and click on that. That's actually the camera. So then the first dotted line inside there, that is the viewing area of the camera.
Right.
And then inside that is the title safe area, which really, I don't know if that matters in our case right now, but when you're making a game, what's going to show?
Everything in the middle dotted line.
Okay, and so everything in the viewing area, that dotted line that's first set in from the outer border. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So do we want to save this and...
Yeah, let's go ahead and pause here, and then we will resume in a few moments.